What's up, bull chasers? What's going on, guys? Don't we love it when the market is green or when Pokemon cards are hitting all-time highs, having 100% gains? Don't we all love that? Don't we love the feeling of seeing other people collection rise while we haven't really done anything? Oh, we all know the feeling. You didn't buy that Evolving Skies booster box at 200 because you said it was too expensive. And now look at it now. 2000. Oh wait, that's just me. But I'm not gonna get into that. Yeah, man, like what I'm here to talk about is the stock market, Pokemon. Starting with the stock market, I think it's the best time to invest. Just look at the stock market. We're on a still market right now. The market doesn't really know to go up or to go down. But we just had the most bearish scene in recent times 2 months ago. But we also had one of the most bullish runs the past month. What does this mean? I don't know. But what I believe is we are in for the part 2 of a bull run. Obviously, no market is just gonna keep going up. You kind of need a little pullback so people are like, hey, I'm gonna just buy more of this. This is the perfect opportunity to just buy. The same thing with Pokemon. I think right now is the best time to buy Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield. If I'm being realistic, I believe Sword and Shield booster boxes are a better buy right now. I also believe the stock market is also a very good buy right now as well. The issue is if you don't really have a lot of capital, let's say if you want to buy Brilliant Stars booster box for $400, right? What if I put $400 on a Brilliant Stars booster box and it goes to 800 in a year or two? Okay, I just double my money. But what if I put $400 in Hims and Hers? Hims and Hers is a very good company. They advertise very well. You can't go a YouTube video without seeing one of their commercials. You kind of just see that it's such a modern modern company that they're a lot less bland than other medical companies, and you just kind of want to just see what's up with them. I mean, Hims and Hers Health, that's a killer name. I think that is one of the best performing stocks that most people haven't been really talking about. Everybody just wants to talk about 8i. 8i is a very good company, and that's another thing. I think 8i is going to be an amazing stock as well to buy. I mean, I would rather put $400 in 8i or $400 in Hims and Hers than buying a $400 booster box of Brilliant Stars. This might sound crazy, but yes, it does appreciate a lot more Pokemon booster boxes, but that's if you get the right booster box. And the right booster box was Evolving Skies. Brilliant Stars is not the right booster box. Yes, you have the Charizard, you have the Umbreon, you have the Sylveon, you have all these great sets, Pokemon in that set. But You have evolving skies. Why would I want brilliant stars when I could get brilliant evolving skies? I know it's super expensive right now, but you know, it's like I wouldn't want to buy brilliant stars. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe brilliant stars goes to 1,000. But my belief is you should buy low and sell high. I think you should be selling your brilliant stars. You know, you should be selling a lot of these booster boxes that aren't the Scarlet and Violet era. But I also believe if you bought Paldea Evolve for $100, you should just sell it right now. You just gain 200%. And yeah, you know, people are like, you should hold it. That's good advice. You should hold your investments until retirement. But you also have to move inventory. And if you don't really have a lot of space, if you don't have a lot of storage, and you just want a little bit of more action, you should really just sell your not sell, just keep 1-2 booster boxes of the older sets. Maybe they go to 1,000, who knows. But also, if you have Paldea Evolve that you got for $100 and now it's 200, 300, why not buy a Surging Sparks booster box with that money? If you bought a lot of Paldea Evolve. Because in my opinion, I just think Paldea Evolved is not going to do better than Surging Sparks in 5 years. When these sets go out of print, when all Scarlet and Violet era sets go out of print, how much older is Surging Sparks? It's a year older. That's it. It's just a year older. Can you really not wait another year for that booster box to go up? Can you imagine how much Surging Sparks is going to be, or how much Destined Rival is going to be when it goes out of print? Or when Prismatic is going to go out of print? Just try to be focused on the positive. The stock market is a great time to be looking and shopping. The SQQ, an indicator of what the SPY and the QQQ is doing. SQQ is the inverse of those stocks. And if the SPY is going down, the SQQ is going up 3 times. So if the SPY is kind of stagnant, doesn't really know where it's going to go, the SQQ could rise, which is what is happening in recent times, but it's also gone very down, because the SPY has been hitting 600, but it hasn't really broke that level, which is why you should also remain cautious. Who knows, we could crash and then go up, but we could also just break 600. We are very, very due to surpass, because I believe the economy is in a better time than last year. We are doing way better as a economy than we were doing last year. Last year there was a lot of struggle. You kind of felt like your budget, doesn't matter how much you were saving, you were kind of still broke. in a way. Maybe not broke in your financial situation, but just felt like you couldn't really do anything, because if you did, it would have set you back a couple years. Because that's how the market was back then, last year. It felt that's how it felt to me. Um, it felt like it was just hard to have a positive outlook. And when Trump went back into office, it was even worse. People were saying this is going to be worse. And you could say for the majority of the beginning of the year of Trump's presidency, yep, we were in it. But I honestly don't see a bad bad trend going on right now. We could obviously not break it, and we are at the same level as we were last year, and then we just go back down, which is totally plausible, totally possible. Which is why you should be cautious. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I believe it's a very good time to buy. In this market that has had its lows of hitting $4.99, because that's where we were. We were hitting $4.99. We were in the 400s in the beginning of the year, in April. And now we got back to 100 pretty quickly. It kind of makes sense that we're due for a little pullback. In order for us to break 600, we kind of have to go on the pullback. But I'm not saying invest right now. But if you see a red day, if you see a day that we're red and we're not really doing anything and everything just seems to be crashing, why not just buy? If you see Apple down 5% during the pullback, why not buy Apple? Apple is one of the best stocks in the stock market. Why not buy Microsoft? You should try to leverage what you own. Don't go crazy and try to get rich quick, because you should not be trying to get rich quick, because that's how you lose a lot of money. When you try to get rich quick, you're not really thinking correctly. You're blinded with emotion. You're just seeing green. You're being greedy, and that's something that you kind of have to. You shouldn't be thinking that. That's why I don't really like options. Options are good in a bull run. Maybe not even in a bull run, because it's a very high stakes gamble. I believe you should just invest. Right now is the best time to invest. You don't really see this type of situation where we had our very big dip, and now we're seeing slowly back up to levels that we were back in. Yes, we are due for a little pullback, but once you see that pullback, just go crazy and buy. That's smart. It's not risky. I mean, there's always a risk, but it's not dumb to think if Apple goes down 10% in a week, it won't double in a month, 3 months. Which is why I say try not to be scared of investing, especially in a market where you're seeing a lot of conflict. Because when people are scared, they're not putting their money into the market, and a lot of people are actually taking money away from their market. But it's not really the best thing to do. I mean, just wait it out. You know, we're almost at Christmas. Christmas is the best time. Stocks always go up, everything goes up. That's why we love the end of the year. But remember, in the mid-year, it's kind of a standstill. No one's really buying. Some people are selling. Some people are just holding. Most people are just holding, and that's the issue, right? People are just holding. They're not really selling. So everything's just kind of a standstill. But if people are selling, and they're just going to wait until the summer ends or a month or two ends and just buy again, that means we're going to be heading up, 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 up. So just think about it. You just notice these patterns as time goes on. You just notice some patterns, and you kind of get a feel how everything is going. Pokemon market, my advice, buy what you like. People are saying this card isn't really going to go up because too many people have it. It has a pop of 10,000 plus, so no one's going to want it. But then again, we have billions and billions of people who play the TCG. Well, not billions. I'm going to say billions. That's not true. Millions of people who play the TCG. Millions is realistic. Billions is not. Millions. I'll go with millions of people playing the TCG. And Dragonite doesn't really have any alt arts, which is why I just think this card is going to do very well. If you see a Pokemon that doesn't really have a lot of crazy cards, and it only has like that one crazy card, and it's a popular Pokemon like Dragonite. See, that's the thing. A lot of people go to vintage since it's low pop, and that means super valuable, super scarce, which is smart. But I didn't really get invested into Pokemon because of the scarcity. I kind of got involved because of the art. Like this card right here. I love that card. Super cool. I think her name is Zera, with her Quasar. Super dope. Super cheap card. And if you're telling me that card is gonna be only $100, I would rather have that card than the card from Evolving Skies. And I don't think the pull rates are really that different. I think maybe the pull rates on Evolving Skies ones is tougher, obviously. But this card is still pretty hard to pull. And I still think that card is still undervalued. That's a really dope card. And that's the thing you gotta see also. When you see stocks or cards or anything that people don't really like, but you enjoy. See, I'm not that different from you guys. I'm not that different from my neighbor. My neighbor's not that different from me. We all have similar traits. We all have similar beliefs. And if I showed you this card and the Rayquaza that's just floating around in Evolving Skies, they're both Rayquaza. They're both dope cards. One looks like they're about to go into a battle. The other one looks like doesn't know where he's going. Um, they're both good cards. I'm not saying they're not, but come on. Um, for Evolving Skies, I would rather have the Umbreon when I have a card like this. But it's it's just the little things, you know. You just have to trust your gut, go with what you like, because that's what makes you special, and that's what makes you different from other people. Like for me, stocks. Uh, I like hymns. I like Chewy. I like Honest. I like AI. I love Dollar General. I think those stocks are gonna do great. The reason being, hymns, super modern medication uh um company, you know, and in today's market, sex sells. So you're telling me a market that people are, you know, is always popular, uh, you know, with ED, you know, when you can't perform, you're telling me that won't do well in the future, especially one that relates to people my age or people that are in their 30s. I'm 24, you know. Uh, this is what I'm saying. Like that, those commercials, I click on those and I'm like, wow, this is a very attractive commercial, and I want to see what's going on with that, and I want to see how that company is run. I want to see what that company sells. Um, you know, that's how you know what companies do for the future when they have a good product. Obviously, they have good products because they have very high revenues. They're on top of the, you know, it's not the thing is they don't even just sell ED medications; they sell other medications. They prescribe RX um medications as well. They sell weight loss. They have a lot of, you know, different variety. You know, it's kind of very good for the consumer because it kind of removes the the trouble of going to a primary care provider. I mean, you should go to a primary care provider, but let's say you kind of don't have time, you're very busy, or you're out of state, and you don't really have access to your primary care provider. This is a very good. It's kind of like Amazon Medical. You know, they're very what's the word? The word that describes Amazon comparing to Walmart. Very convenient. They're a very convenient company, and that's why I go with Chewy. Chewy is a very what's that word again? Oh, I keep forgetting the word, and I just said it. Very convenient company for pet owners. Chewy is a very convenient um company for pet owners, and this stock was on the low end a couple years ago. It was on sitting at $20 1 year ago. 1 year ago, it was sitting for $20, and if you stuck out on it, you would have doubled your money right now. So just think about what stocks you should be getting at. Um, AI right now, it's looking super bearish, but I don't think it's a bad time to buy. It's at its recent lows for the month since the bull run. Well, the lows have been like on the 18, 19, but it's very close, and its highs have been $40. And AI is used for everything. Everybody's using AI. So, these are some of the stocks that I have in my portfolio. SoFi is a very good fintech. Their interest rates are very low compared to others, and their main uh target audience is people my age in their 30s with student loans. Uh, they their interest rates are very good. They have very good conveniency. They're a very attractive company. Their app is easy to use. Um, they just had kind of like a bullish run right now, and they went from $13 to 15, which kind of surprised me. Not gonna lie, like it went up super high so fast, which kind of makes me a little bit reluctant on them from buying. But I could see the stock going past $20 in a year or two. Um, Dollar General, IonQ, Dollar. Let's talk about Dollar General. Dollar General is one of those stocks that people overlook, but with what Trump has been doing with the tariffs, they're one of the um, what's it called? Best performing, because everything is so expensive in grocery stores. So where do they go? Dollar General. They go to companies like Costco, Dollar General, smaller grocery type um companies. While companies like Walmart, Walmart didn't like that. So companies like Walmart and Target, they get hurt in the grocery sections, because they have to buy so much at these high ridiculous prices, and they're losing money because not that many people want to buy. And Walmart is on the cheap end, but Dollar General's prices haven't really changed. And Dollar General is giving out coupons. They give out rewards, I think. I'm not sure on that, but I know they give out coupons. And they went. This was almost a 250 company in 2022, and they went from their highs of, let me see, yeah, 2022 was their high, 250, and it went from 150, which was last year, to their lows of $71. $71, Dollar General, and now it's back up to 111. I don't know if it's gonna hit 200, but I could see the stock going to 150, and I'm not sure about this. Yeah, it does give a dividend. Yeah, so you know, Dollar General is one of those stocks that you should really just look at. It gives a dividend stock quarterly, so every um, you have 4 times they'll pay for holding your stock. And in my opinion, that is something that a lot of stocks don't do as much. You could also buy Coca-Cola, but Coca-Cola doesn't really move from 60 to 70, and it's not really getting that popular. Because we're now in an era where soda isn't seen as a popular item. If anything, if you have soda, you're asking for a death wish. But Dollar General is a stock that gives a dividend, is now being one of the top grocery retail um, of stores, and that kind of gives it some power and leverage in the stock market. You know, Walmart, I don't think Walmart gives dividends. So Walmart has an annual dividend. So yes, it does give dividends, but its dividends, I don't think it's higher than, I think Dollar General gives you a better dividend. And their dividend date is July 8th of 2025. So expect a lot of buying from Dollar General in the next month, since they're giving their dividend on July 8th, 2025. A lot of people are going to be looking at that dividend saying, hey, 0.589, that's a 2% annual dividend. Yield. Their dividend yield is 2.11%. And it's 0.589 per share. So for every share, you get 0.5. So if you have 2 shares of Dollar General, you get $1. So if you have, let's say, 100, you get paid $50. So just having 100 shares of Dollar General gives you $50 just for holding the stock. That's that's a whole lot better than Walmart giving you less than $1 one time in the whole year. I don't know how the dividend works for Walmart, but it said 0.9 cents per year. So I don't know about you, but that's way more attractive than Walmart. I think Dollar General is way more attractive, and Walmart is at 95, and that's its kind of recent highs. And I just don't, Walmart is hating on Trump. Walmart doesn't like Trump. They've been open about it. Trump has said, well, I hope they lose money. While Dollar General loves Trump. Dollar General has been reported to have been selling the most since Trump has been in office. That's what they said. Their earnings have been great. They have an earnings on August 28th. So that's one of the reasons why I'm super bullish on Dollar General. Dollar General is one of those stocks that I'm just like, the stocks that I'm like, yes. But yeah, like, I mean, you could say maybe Walmart could go up. I mean, that's what everyone says, right? It's one of those staples. But I don't know, Dollar General just seems like they're just gonna keep doing great in this type of economy. That's my belief, because they give out deals. They have Apple Pay. But seriously, like this is kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. They're only $20 more, but you get $50, $50, 50 cents every time you buy a stock. Every annual dividend pay, you get 50 cents. That's it. For the year, you get $2. $2 just for owning the stock every year. Now, that's not a lot. $2. Oh my God, that's chump change. But when you have multiple stocks, of that stock, like I said, if you have 100 shares of Dollar General and you get $50 every annual, that's $200. $200 you can gain from Dollar General. $200. Imagine that in 5 years, and you just keep putting money into Dollar General. And obviously, Dollar General, who knows, maybe in 10, 20 years they close down. Or they just have a very bearish sign. But right now, they look very bullish. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the now. I'm not focused on the future. The last stock I'll talk about is IonQ. IonQ is develops and manufactures quantum computers. IonQ, I think, has a contract with NVIDIA. So if NVIDIA is up, this one is going up. I think they manufacture computers for NVIDIA. I'm pretty sure. I'm not really too sure on exactly what they do, but the numbers are great. Yeah, see, it collaborates with NVIDIA. They don't make computers, which is hybrid quantum. NVIDIA does not manufacture a quantum computer itself, but it provides the software. Yeah, they develop and build quantum computers using trapped ion technology. They are a hardware provider for space. Yeah, so that's the thing. They work with NVIDIA. They work on quantum computers, and they work with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is one of the best chip manufacturers. I know NVIDIA makes chips, and they're one of the top ones. They also make software. They also, they also have parts in AI. They are very on top of the game. AMD is a close second, but NVIDIA is just going to be a powerhouse in that area. In my opinion, if you are really on a budget, buy Intel. Intel is making chips in the US. They have plans to make chips in the US, and the US will not allow Intel to go out of business. Intel, they are losing money and they are cutting employees from what I saw. But just ignore that for now. Just ignore that and focus on what the government can give Intel. Yes, it is a bad sign when companies have to lay off employees, but Intel has a contract with the US government. So if the US government wants to give a contract to a company for making chips in the US when Trump is a high endorser of that, what does that mean for the future? That means that company is due to make chips for the government, for the military, they're due to make computers for the military. They're due to make computers for schools, for public schools, things like that. For first responders, they are gonna be the ones that the US go for computers, because they know Intel will give them for free, or they'll buy it off for super low prices. And what that also means is if they have manufacturing in the US, they don't have to pay tariffs, they don't have to pay for shipping, they don't have to pay for all these extra things that NVIDIA, AMD have to pay for. They get it straight from the lab, straight from the warehouse here in the US, and just say, hey, here you go. That's it. So that's just what I really want to talk about. Is right now would be a great time to be in the stock market. Try not to focus too much on Pokemon because right now, if you want to just buy whatever you like, that's my advice on Pokemon. Buy what you like. Because I think by the time we hit Christmas, we're going to hit another bull market. Maybe not. Maybe we go on a bearish market like we did the first era of Scarlet and Violet. History likes to repeat itself. But what I do know is for sure the stock market is going to be up by Christmas. It's not a guarantee because nothing in this life is guaranteed. But at least with the stock market, you can take out the money whenever you feel uncomfortable. And you don't have to wait for someone to buy it off you on eBay or on TCG Player or whatever. That's just my 2 cents, guys. Hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your afternoon.